I'm just gonna be blunt here. I really see no reason why people are still on TikTok or Instagram Reels the vast majority of that free time. When you pay close attention to it, there would be some randos posted some random low IQ takes like it is okay to have many girlfriends, it is okay to have many people. Oh, I hate this guy, I hate that guy. If you were eating, junk food, you're gonna be fit. Or just something like you get what I mean, you would see it if you were on it for a while, and you have to follow the trends and keep it up. Otherwise, when you don't understand like new terms, new like ideology, you would feel like excluded. It's quite dumb. Why do I even have to keep up? I don't even get salary from it. This is so dumb. Like people were so brainless and they would spend like their time, their free time on it, like scrolling. So consequently, they internalize and adopt those ideas, beliefs, and ideology subconsciously, and then they would just act accordingly without knowing, because they would just agree with it. They don't want to see like the full context. They don't want to see it, from the other perspectives. Bro, people are so brainwashed because they don't want to take some time to introspect whether it is true, since it is an echo chamber, whatever that you like, whatever it is that you want to see, you will spend like a lot of time watching it, even if you don't like a comment, but the algorithm knows. It knows what you like. Of course, like you're gonna keep feeding the exact same content or similar ones, so it would get your attention, and that is the best currency nowadays. When people misuse their time and spend time on it a lot, they rarely have time to think about their life, about who they are. Since why would they even have to do that, right? They just scroll, and then adopt some new identity, belief. Then that's it. Everything is completed. They don't have to do any freaking work. No effort is required. That's why I really think that it really like lowers people's IQ. You can argue that, oh, but I got a lot of useful knowledge from there. Yeah, I agree with you. But arguably, most of them are just something useless. You just spend your time on it, instead of trying to do something with your life. People just use it as escapism and distraction so that they don't have to spend time to do something real about their life. They don't have to fix their flaws, whatever personal issues that they have. They don't have to think about it. It is horrible, right? When you have to think about your future, your relationships, your financial situation. It sucks, They just don't care and just try to look like they got something with their life by scrolling and looking people living their best life and posting some dumb takes. Oh, this one is, I really can't stand it. And when many people they post some dumb things and they agree with each other, bro, it is the lowest IQ community ever. I swear to God, like, bro, people just don't do anything anymore besides scrolling. And I don't even understand how they get dopamine from that. Seeing the exact same thing for what, 5, 6, 7 years? Man, like, aren't you bored of it? Get your life, like, bro, I really can't stand these people. I believe that every intelligent people, they have woken up and realized how horrible these short form content are. Imagine you learn something within like a minute. What do you even get? Like, okay, you understand like, some foundation and the main concept of it, but then after that, 5 minutes, you forgot. Why? Because you learn so many things within that 5 minutes, and it is completely different. How are you even gonna remember that? You literally learned nothing. Genuinely, how are they going to be smarter when they don't even take a break and try to figure out what's going on with their life? How are they going to deal with it, etc.? Instead, they're consuming some nasty content on it. In fact, it even incites people to hate on each other. People start to be homophobic, or men hate women and women hate men, because the algorithm, I sort of got, like, I've mentioned this 1,000 times in my video, that on like men's FYP, it would be like women doing some, nasty stuff, dressing promiscuously, being like a whatever that you want to add. And on like women's FYP, it would be like some men sexually assaulted someone or men cheating on their wife, their girlfriend, doing some immoral things. It is the other way around. If I'm a man, I would see some bad things about women. Let me put it this way: it doesn't represent the vast majority of men nor women, right? But that is the only side that we see. So we believe that it is true. I mean, like in a broad sense. I'm not denying that it is not true. Definitely, like it contains truth, but people perceive it as like the whole truth that all men would be cheaters, all women would be slutty, whatever. When people don't take time and try to interact with like real human, try to understand them, why do they feel like that, why are they like this, and be genuinely open-minded, people would be stuck. Their belief would be fixed. I would believe whatever social media and algorithm tells me only. It is literally like a new religion for people. They worship this shit. Like, not God, not anything, bro. Since their beliefs, ideology, ideas, hatred, whatever, it comes from here. People just adopt it or internalize it, as I said before. It is so convincing. Why? Because those content that people see, including me, it is true. But as I said, it is an echo chamber. You see it every single day. So it reinforces your belief stronger and stronger and stronger, even when your belief sometimes is refuted. But it is so strong that it doesn't even do anything to your belief, since one refutation cannot damage the accumulating knowledge and like evidence that you've been collecting for years. It doesn't work like that, right? The antidote is spending more time with yourself, being more introspective, and just try to decrease your social media screen time usage and focus more on real life human interaction. You will see how people are. They're gonna speak nicely to you, and that is how normal people actually are, not like how people from TikTok or Instagram Reels are. You would see how kind, generous, and good they are, because they are not anonymous anymore. When you are on like social media, you can use an anime profile picture or just like an account with no identity at all, so you can be as harsh as possible and be extremely rude with anyone. It indirectly forces people to dehumanize each other when they know that their account is identityless, so they can do whatever they want without constraint. That's why I think like it really sucks, which is why nowadays numerous individuals are depressed. They are cyberbullied, and there is no safe space anymore. In real life, people rarely interact with each other already, because a lot of them, they already formed a group or community in real life, and they don't want to accept a new one, or they hold a radical belief and ideology that it is harder for new people with different ideology to come in. Of course, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to do that. You can do whatever you want, okay? In the online community, it's also corrupt and degenerate. We're practically living in a downfall of humanity. People stop thinking. They merely adopted some belief from some like low IQ people from the internet, since anybody can post nowadays. A bunch of horrible people, they can get famous and become influential. And imagine like there's so many horrible people that they influence bad thing and they corrupt young people. And a lot of young people, they have a tendency to stick with their loudest voice, since they would feel included, as if they're superior to a particular group. As a result, they don't think for themselves, because they just want to feel safe and belong somewhere. And I get it why they don't want to be the minority, because it is not accepted by society. The loudest voice always wins. They wouldn't feel confident if there's no crowd, no compliments from strangers, no fame. They would feel like they're nothing, and it is scary, right? Many people try to escape it by agreeing with the mainstream. That is why like people just stop thinking, because they're afraid of what they would have to face. And I completely get it. But don't forget that once those variables are removed, bro, many people's lives are going to be doomed. It will be far worse. I'm just being for real. Whenever I try to like scroll on it, wishing that there would be something new or some ideas that I can get to use with my content, I swear to you, most of the time it would just be some randos posting about some dumb post that they copy from another person or giving me, this is how you get attention from people, or some like people just living their life. Mainly, right? You would see it. I wish TikTok and Instagram Reels people wake up one day and realize how much of their identities are defined by social media and they're being controlled by them. Essentially, they're just slaves, using it every single day without knowing what is the purpose of doing it. It merely a distraction from something that truly matters, which is their life. We have become more connected than ever, yet people are more suicidal, more depressed, more sad. Man, like it shouldn't have been like this, right? In the last 20 years, statistically, people are more suicidal, and I don't blame them at all. You know, it is harder to connect with people when they're addicted to social media and you don't. You just want something real. You know, you think about how you want your life to be, but people on social media, they just don't. They just want to live inside it, inside their phone, getting absolute nothing, only BS takes from it. Men are horrible, women are horrible, LGBTQ people are horrible, religious people are horrible. Nothing is good at this point. Okay, like if you're gonna listen to these freaking apps, short form content, you're gonna scroll, you know, people will just don't watch some informative, useful content, because if within the first few seconds, if it doesn't create emotion for viewers, they're gonna scroll. Most people gonna scroll within 2 seconds. If I don't laugh, I'm gonna scroll. Bro, many people's attention span is cooked. I bet they can't even sit still and watch something, can be a series, a show, or just read a book without using their phone, or, you know, what should I do? Or like, just like, I don't know, some sort of behavior that they're craving that they feel uncomfortable with reading a book for an hour, or just simple thing as staring at a wall for 10 minutes, let alone meditation where you have to sit still. Wow. I don't think that is plausible for many people nowadays. You can see how cooked it is to use like these apps when it doesn't provide any substantial thing for you anymore. It makes people to stop thinking, since when they have free time, they will just use it when they're on elevator, when they're on the bus, when they're home, so tired after work or study, they would just use it, right? So consequently, when would they have free time to think about their life, to think about their identity, what they want, etc.? Of course, the answer is no, they're not gonna have time. Even if when they have, after scrolling for 4 or 5 hours, they would be experiencing cognitive overload. They're not gonna be able to think clearly what they want in life, since it is so foggy. After you receive a bunch of information in your head, your cognitive ability wouldn't function properly. It needs time to rest too. After realizing that they cannot think properly, since the brain is so foggy after receiving nonsensical BS memes that is not even useful for their life, that they're going to bed and repeat the exact same habit over and over again, living in this loop for years, promising oneself that I'm going to quit tomorrow, next month, for years. It is just an empty promise. Wow. When they realize maybe they're going to be like, what, 30, 40, and look back, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Bro, many people from the internet, they have warned you at least 100 times. And people who are into social media, they don't listen. They watch it and they're like, oh yeah, right, I should quit. Scroll. What is that? Like, why do you even listen when you just want to feel psychologically productive as if you already deleted? You have not. Even if you did just like a few days, you would just download it back. Boom. Seriously, how are we going to get smarter when people know what they should do, but they don't follow it? Let alone new generations, iPad kids. I have two nieces. Last month, I went to their birthdays. One is 6 years old, the other one is 8 years old. Mind you, two of them, they cannot speak. I didn't mean English or anything, just their native language. They cannot speak. They cannot respond to me properly. They cannot respond to their mom. Of course, they understand, but they cannot speak properly. They're still like, yeah, 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 no, still emotional and just, I'm not saying that they're naughty or anything, that's not the point. They literally cannot respond to you properly, even though they understand, the vast majority of what you're saying. And no, they are not quiet kids. They cannot speak. I swear to you, it is that bad since they were very young. They were raised with iPads and very indulgent since the parents, one of the main problems of iPad kids is that the parents, they don't have time to take care of them. Consequently, iPads become substitute parents. When kids use iPads excessively, their brain would be underdeveloped, just like my nieces. I literally have seen many kids when I was on a plane in front of me. A little kid was watching iPad for the whole flight. My gosh. When people come to a profound understanding that short form content is extremely tedious and useless, nobody provides anything substantial anymore. And a lot of experts, they're not even good people. I swear to you, I've seen many people with millions of followers. They still spread hatred, incite violence. I swear to you, like, you cannot trust anyone. I just want to remind you something that people from social media, regardless of their followers, of their intelligence, at the end of the day, they are just normal people, just like you and me. They could still do wrong thing regardless of how they portray themselves on social media. Don't forget that it is extremely curated. They shows that part that they want you to see. There are so many parts that they don't want you to see. When they crashed out, when they did some illegal things, when they're sexually assault someone, when they're chatting with minors, a bunch of things. Like, I don't even have to describe it. Some get caught, some never. Some people might see the mechanism of it and survive from it, but a lot of people, they might not. We're going to see where it leads us to. If people don't start thinking for themselves, then social media will. Thank you.